Antrell,
Yes, sir.
finally got you on to the Finish the Yardbird podcast.
Finish the Yardbird. I renamed this joint
Yeah.
by mistake. It was what is it called? Like an audio error, but it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
If you was really gonna rename it though, Finish the Yardbird.
Yardbird.
Finish the Yardbird podcast. You heard it here first. Antrell renamed that joint. Nah, it's really Finish the Race, but
yeah, finish the race. So we're gonna get into some hard times, some bits of adversity that you face and that you've overcame, challenges that you've battled with, and then where you're at now and how you're doing.
Cool.
Before we get into that,
I think I can talk about that.
I'm sure you can.
What you got? You said before we get into
we gotta do a cookie jar.
Cookie jar. You want me to pick one? I remember this.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Cookie jar conversation.
Jar. You got a theme song for it in the whole nine?
I want to have one.
See, now we got to do it.
That's true.
And he knows I'm an audio guy.
Exactly. But what are you thinking for?
I don't know. But what you just did with the little cookie jar conversation, you know what? It's funny, before I read this, it's funny that as the jingle reminded me of, and I'm probably going to show my age, there was a cartoon on Nickelodeon called Ren and Stimpy a long time ago. And one of my favorite episodes was an episode to where they were outside playing and there was a fence.
Okay.
And it was an electric fence. And the jingle was, "Don't piss on the electric fence." Your cookie jar song just kind of reminded me of that jingle. That it's weird how the craziest stuff will stick with you.
Yeah.
That had to be 25, 30 years ago. All right. But cookie jar question. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not even doing that.
No?
You know what? Let's have fun.
I can cut it out.
Nah, we're not going to cut it out.
Okay.
Because I'm a married man. We're going to go with this.
Yeah.
One person you want to go on a date with. My wife.
There you go.
Just went on a date with her last night. It was amazing. We could talk about that too. One person I want to go on a date with, my wife. And so I'll answer this from a couple perspectives. I'm going to get deep with you for just a second. When you get to my age range.
Tell people how old you are because they're not going to believe you.
I am 42 years old. Most people don't believe me.
I don't.
I am 40.
I still don't.
I'm gonna have to show my ID. I am 42 years old. If you keep your stress levels down in your life, then, and I don't know if you've ever heard the saying that black don't crack, melanin is okay. So black don't crack. I take care of myself. Try to keep the stress levels down. And because I've only went on dates with the same person for the last 21 years, 25 years. Let me correct myself. Married 21 in March 8th. Married 21 years. Together for 25 years. So because I've only went on dates with the same person for the last 25 years, and I can answer that question. And it helps keep the stress levels down. Not saying she doesn't give me levels of stress.
Oh, yeah.
Because the relationship definitely does that. Mm-hmm. And any relationship will. But, yeah, like, to not going on a bunch of dates, not having the challenges that your generation has. I know I was on Instagram one day, and I seen a lady, I think she was a doctor, and she's talking to men about women today are far more sexually active than they were when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like, in my day, when I was 20 years old, average lady probably had 3 to 5 sexual partners. As where in 2023, 2024,
yeah,
most women is a safe number would probably be about 15 to 20 sexual partners. So from, again, in my era, chick is a hoe. You ran through.
Yeah.
We not trying to be with a female that's you got bodies.
Yeah.
Nah, that's too much baggage.
Yeah.
I don't want her.
Me neither.
So and that I had to laugh on that.
I ain't got enough trunk space for that.
Yeah, you don't have enough trunk space. We don't realize all of the, like, You said it perfectly. I don't have enough trunk space. This is a lot of damage, a lot of energy that is attached to us that we've taken in through, 20 to 30 minutes of pleasure. And if you're not good, you didn't get 20 to 30 minutes. If you slack, you got 2 on a good day. And I'm still being modest. You probably got 15 seconds. And the woman that you gave the 15 seconds to, she is nodding her head like this right now because she remembers that experience. I'm sorry for you, and I'm sorry what you had to go through for those 15 seconds. All right, change the subject, man. See,
Okay.
I'm going on a tyrant about something.
I love talking about
I told you didn't want to talk to me today, but you put me on the podcast. I'm trying not to make
good, though. This
trying
is
not
good.
to make your podcast ratchet today, man.
This is good.
I got time today.
So I would say there's a girl I work with I want to take on a date.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say her name, but
no, don't do it yet.
No, definitely not.
Don't set yourself up for failure.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I do that too often. Not with this.
Smart man, don't jinx yourself. Okay.
This was a good opening, I feel like.
Absolutely.
This was fun.
Started off fresh. This is beautiful.
What?
Where are we going from here? That's the question, though.
We're gonna stick with going deep.
Okay. All right.
So, 42 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that you've seen some things in your day.
I've had a few experiences. I've lived through some things.
Gone through some stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm 25. Between the ages of 20 and 25, what was something that you found yourself struggling with, and you would think, I have to do better than this?
At 20 to 25, what was something that I found myself struggling with?
Or something you like?
No. Gotcha.
Okay.
I don't think I can give a deeper answer than reality.
Okay.
Now here's my elaboration. My perception of the world, of my world, let me be clear. My perception of my world at 20 to 25 years old was not what was actually happening in the world. Yeah. My perception kept me basically a slave.
Okay.
To where I had a lot of people around me that were coming into entrepreneurship. I had friends starting businesses. At 20 to 25, I am working somebody else's job, basically trying to stay under the radar and make enough money to pay my bills and to smoke as much weed as I possibly can when I'm not at work, and to take my wife on dates. Like that's honestly. So my perception of, okay, well, what's important? Coming home or going to somebody else's job, smoking weed and playing Madden all day when you're not making music.
Yeah.
And like that's it. Never learning the business side of it. Remember, so I see friends and I see people building recording studios, getting out in front of, going to different events, getting in front of the A&Rs and in front of the record labels and in front of the executives. Again, I'm going to work because I got a real cushy job, making pretty good money. I was able to go to Sam Ash and buy the equipment. So I guess it was, my reality of what life should be was much, much different. And I guess for a while, as I got older, I felt like I wasted my 20s because to now that I've learned, it's all about timing, right? Okay. I wasn't doing the best things, but I wasn't doing things that were ultimately detrimental. I was moving in the right space. I just didn't understand how I was moving. And I feel like the universe, because of my upbringing, the universe kept me connected to where I didn't go too far left field. Because life is the best teacher. Yeah. You gotta live through something to be able to fully comprehend and understand it. So again, You just gotta live. You're young. You got a good heart. And I think this is the universe. Through all of my experiences, this is what the universe gave back to me. You're young. You got a good heart. You're not trying to. Your intentions are good. So, of course, everybody has to figure it out for themselves. But we won't. It isn't written in your destiny that we need to give you this like hard thing. We need to put this. We need to smack you with this train in order for you to either figure it out or this is the end of your story.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the cards for me like that. So I just reality, bro. Reality was my reality and what I thought was life. I thought I didn't have to pay attention to politics. I thought I could really just go to the job and pay my bills and come home, like I said, and do whatever I wanted to do, and that would be enough. My reality of life was all about me. Ooh, this is good. My reality of life was all about me.
Yeah.
Is what I needed to change. And as I gotten older, as I've grown older, I've realized that it's probably the worst thinking that I could have had. But because, like I said, I wasn't out here trying to piss on you for my gain, then okay, you'll grow. But we won't send you in the other direction.
Do you feel like you had like selfish ambition?
No, absolutely. Absolutely not. I have never had selfish ambition. Even when we started creating music, it was never about me. I just wanted to be the one that was in the room. I liked the energy of creation, and I think I'm still like this now, to where the way that the team that I've built around me at the church that I manage, and even the people that I use on GHME productions, like it's never about me. I don't want the credit. I just want to be a part of that team that did this great thing. So no, I don't feel like I ever had selfish ambition.
So what was the like mindset when, if you can just expand on it a little bit, where you're saying what you were out for was me, like between your 20 and like 2025. Just like if it's good for me, that's all that matters. Or
Yes, it's good enough for me. That's all that matters. I want it to be. And what's crazy is I've heard my daughter say these words. I used to say, or I used to feel that I only needed to be average, which there is nothing wrong with being average if your desire is to be average. I just feel that all people in life want to learn. And I am a big believer that the day that we actually stop learning is the day that we die. You might not physically perish from the earth, but if you stop using the brain power and the abilities that God gave you, you are at that point useless, in my opinion. So, like I'm just always on a knowledge or a quest for knowledge. I'm always like, even if it's can I find out that there's a better dog food for my dog? It doesn't have to be, you know what I'm saying, some great big aisle. Is there a better way that I can open my can of green beans? It could be something really, really simple, but it's just we must always strive to learn something new.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Right. So
if I told you that I had a time machine and I set it in front of you and you could go back to when you were 21 years old, maybe you don't go back and change anything, but you get to go and sit down and have a 2-minute long conversation or 2-minute long lecture to your 21-year-old self, what would you say?
pay attention to the people that are directly placed in your path right now, because they're here to teach you something. Again, it's going back to the knowledge.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you know everything just because the law or the state that you live in says that you're legally grown. You're not an adult.
Yeah.
You don't know everything just because you can go and buy some cigarettes or buy a beer. That does not make you wise enough to experience and handle the energies of other people and the situations that you will encounter. That's what I would tell myself.
Okay. I feel like, I don't know, when I look back at like high school me,
Mm-hmm.
at the time I would say, I would acknowledge that I didn't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I still thought like, pretty highly of myself or whatever. And I would think, oh, I know
I
about
agree.
certain situations or whatever.
I think that was pretty much what my outlook was.
Yeah.
I guess it comes with like an arrogance of, I don't know, man. The experiences that you go through leading up to that point,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come across the older person, like you run across your uncle that's 15 years old, and he'd be like, ah, man, you still wet behind the ears. You don't know that. Like, you don't. But from your experience, nah, you don't, because you don't live my life, so you can't tell me what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, well, I can't know everything that they've been through because I haven't been here that extra 15 years that Uncle has. So life is beautiful, man.
It is. It's pretty cool.
Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. It's hard. There is no right or wrong way to do anything. It's your way. It's what do you believe in, and give it your all. But don't quit. Don't punk out. That's the easy way.
Yeah.
That's an underlying message I don't know who picked that up, but
it's important to somebody.
Just make sure you put the suicide prevention number right here on the screen.
I'll put Logic's song over this reel.
All of that. Put all of that. I don't know if I articulated that right, but just understand that you have more. You have a purpose. You may not know what your gift is, and if you don't, just understand that you gotta keep going to figure it out, but don't quit.
Finish the race.
Finish the race.
Finish the Yardbird.
Finish the Yardbird. Finish the race. Absolutely. Finish the Yardbird.
So you get out of 25. Let's say you get out of your 20s, right?
Yes.
30
Get out of my 20s.
30s come around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's some hardship that you face then, or some difficult life decisions?
Becoming a man. Having children. So becoming a man. So growing up, knowing that now I need to properly build my business and not just keep it a hobby. It's a hobby to make music with the guys after school, and then even when school is out, it's a hobby to get off work and, smoke and kick it and make music with the guys. But what do you do when you have tetrabytes of music? You got 200 and 300 songs and just all these great ideas that you've taken to certain record labels and certain music executives, and they've told you, the material isn't bad, but you just need to work it. Like, what do you do then? Learn the business. So, I gotta grow up. I gotta figure out how to properly structure this thing. So, that's what it was for me in my 30s.
Was it just a lot of focusing on shifting your mindset?
Absolutely. So my true story, I partied in my 20s. I got married at 22. And then even then, like getting married at 22, I wasn't mature enough to be in a committed relationship. And I think me and my wife, we should probably talk about this on our podcast. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to take this 30 seconds to segue into the Chrismo Show Random Thoughts podcast. You can find this on YouTube. LaKristen McLean is the YouTube account, so make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. But we talk about a lot of relationship, a lot of kids, because that's what we're currently going through with the kids. And we go into deep conversations like this. But I wasn't mature enough to understand what being a husband really meant.
Yeah.
And the shift happened at, how old was I? 29? No, she was 29 when our daughter was born, which is my middle child. Mm-hmm. So I had one at 17 out of wedlock. That is my oldest. And definitely made a bunch of parenting mistakes based off of what I knew, my experience at that time. In being a kid, trying to raise a kid, that's one thing. And we talking about generational curses that, like, we break. That's a whole, that would take a whole nother show. I won't go on a tirade about that one. But then, yeah, so partying through your 20s, working, thinking that's all I got to do is pay these bills, and this will be enough to keep you a slave in the system of paying these bills. And then, you continue to want more, so now you have the epiphany of life that maybe school is something that's good. You tried your best just to get out of it, to be done with it, so you could give your mama the diploma so she could put it in her china cabinet, which is hanging right now. But then, again, when you see your homeboys and we get older and families start to develop and you need to do something more, it can't just always be this. We start reverse engineering the plan. So, like, what is the steps that it would actually take to become successful in the music industry? Or it wasn't the music industry for me, it was the entertainment field. You start reverse engineering that stuff. So for me, that looked like I properly learn how to mix and master music. Well, where will you go to do that? Well, what else is around, or what else can you learn? This is probably 2011, 2012. YouTube is starting to become big. All the YouTube vlogger videos, and then the beginning of the YouTube music era. So you had a lot of local rappers or smaller town rappers that got a lot of notoriety off of YouTube. Start shooting music videos. So anybody that followed my career know that's pretty much what I did from 2012 to 2017 is when I think we did Jarman, which was the first short film I did. Nope, I'd even have to go back. Now I'm just giving like my work history. But we did do a TV show in 2014 with a writer from Fayetteville, Yolanda Clayton. Shout out to Yolanda. More on her later.
Was she here for that award show?
No, that was Keisha. Excuse me, Lovely Austin.
Well, that's who hosted, but I feel like
yes, Lovely Austin hosted. But I worked with Lovely on the Sisters production, which was written by Yolanda Clayton.
Okay.
So that's probably how you heard the name. But yeah, again, so it was like that's through my 30s. It was about gaining that knowledge, building a new trade, moving from what I was doing as a housekeeper into a career as a videographer, content creator, director, music video director, whatever. So, knowledge, man. Knowledge. The more you know. No, let me get this right. Applied knowledge is power, not just knowledge. Applied knowledge is power. You can know anything, but knowing it and then not taking action, what good does it do you? Let that marinate.
I feel like that's one of the biggest consequences or just bad effects of the information age that we're living in now.
Oh, absolutely.
Is anybody can find out anything. And so they read it somewhere and they just believe or assume that they know it now. So it's a very dangerous slope to go down, because it's also can be the greatest tool.
Truth.
Like we can know whatever we want now.
Truth.
But it's still, you have to double check, triple check, quadruple check.
Absolutely.
And then figure out, like you said, how to apply it. You know?
And really, it's always been that way. It's just, I think it's become more difficult, and you have to research more. So if we go to the definition of the word research, is to search and then search again. In my day, we didn't have, of course, the internet was just starting. So there were no cell phones. Well, there were no smartphones.
Yeah.
There were cell phones. There were no smartphones to where information was readily available at our fingertips like it is now. So we actually had to either go to the library or go to whoever in our family had a computer so we could jump on the AOL to get on Wikipedia and look up something that may or may not be true. It was the same thing. We just had to put more action into the steps rather than, as my phone goes off and I'm not going to answer this call. Actually, I am going to answer this call because this is my homeboy. This is Zay. And Zay, we are live in the middle of a podcast right now, and I just said his name, so you know I love you because I'm really like filming the podcast right now. I hope you're close. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Kane is coming outside to see you. Shout out to my guy Kane. But Kane is coming outside to get you right now. See that, and that's really how we do it. Like, we answering the phone in the middle of the podcast because people is pulling up, because we are very important people. But you didn't have readily information at your fingertips like that.
Yeah.
So we had to do the work. And then the scary part is, because it's so easy to get to it now, you have to take more time to dig it out. Like, I guess, and I can't say that everything that we read, in the 90s was super accurate. Like, it was the same thing. You're still going to have to do the proper research to find out what is valuable, what is not. But yeah, man, it's just, everything is designed to look so real. Even the whole, I'm not going to say his name, but the fake news error. Fake news, all of that. Like, but it's a real thing. Even though it's funny, it's a real thing. And as I go back to Wikipedia, like, anybody can go on here and type the information that I want you to believe, yet a lot of us use this site because it's valuable information in most situations. So it's a gift and a curse, man. You have to study for yourself to figure out what works for you and disregard what doesn't. I hope I answered that question for you.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Pursue knowledge. And then apply it.
It always comes back to the knowledge. You got to pursue it, and you got to apply it. Facts, because applied knowledge is power. And knowledge without applying it is just information.
Just dust in the wind.
It's dust in the wind. It's useless. Yeah.
So you're saying you had to figure out how to become more fitting for your committed relationship with your marriage.
I had to grow up, man.
Yeah. What did you learn were some of the details and steps and like things you had to soak up to become grown up?
Which podcast you doing right now? Is this the family oriented podcast, or is this Yardbird? Like,
this is everything.
How you want me to answer this?
You answer. I want you to answer it honestly.
You want the honest answer?
Yeah, whatever shape that takes.
All right, I'm gonna give you the honest answer. I'm gonna give you the honest answer and the male answer that I got from my pastor.
Here we go.
And this is a good one too. And all right, so this is strictly for the men. Most men or all men, you got two heads. You got this one, and then you got the one below. Don't let the head below do the thinking for you. Always let the one above do the thinking.
Yeah.
Because the one below has one thought.
Yep.
And if you don't know what that one thought is, it's
Yep.
That's it. That's all it's got.
And it's loud.
It's loud. It's loud and it's powerful. And it can overcome anything else that you can see, hear, taste, smell. It can consume you.
Yep.
And if we get lost in that consumption, then you go down a different rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah. No pun intended.
I got married. I'm going to keep it all the way real. I got married and jumped straight into that rabbit hole.
Yep.
And thought, I can stay here. But no, that is not the equivalent of being a good husband.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more. It takes for you to be able to console when we're having a bad day. It takes being able to cook dinner for the kids when they have a project due for work, or it takes, to be able to withstand a difficult conversation when you and your spouse aren't seeing eye to eye. It takes knowing that you won't always agree on everything, and that's okay. Like, yeah, I personally had to mature. And what I learned through my 20s and through the trials and tribulations and the mistakes that I made throughout, that number one, I had a really, really mentally strong and supportive partner in my wife. Number two, she was super country and super hood, which is a good thing. And then, yeah, lastly, like, just the most important thing was I needed to grow up. I needed to gain knowledge and to stop letting my little head make all the decisions, because it wasn't making very good ones.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
That's good advice. That's very good advice.
I hope so. I never had the intention to come out here and give bad advice. If I give bad advice, it was the best advice that I could give based off the information that I knew at that time. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think some people, I can't even say some people, I'm only speaking for me. In the past, I've made the mistake of thinking because I know something, you automatically have to know it, and you have to see my perspective that I've acquired in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's gonna see the same piece of artware or art in the same way. I said artware. Nobody will see the same piece of art subjectively the same way.
Yeah.
Not possible. We can see the same colors, but you're gonna get a different feeling from this Celsius can than I do. I don't like Celsius. So as you sit here and drink it, I'm like, why not a Red Bull? Does it not give you, even though Celsius is probably way healthier? And I'm not trying to promote either one of these companies.
Sounds like you really like Red Bull.
It's just the reference that's in front of my face, and that was the first one that came to my brain, probably because of the marketing, right? It gives you wings. Mm-hmm. So it's like the subliminal programming and all of that. Like, that's never my intention, but
no, I get that.
Yeah.
It's I get that a lot from, I don't know, you can tell somebody's stuck in their ways when they find out that somebody they know doesn't know what they know. And it could be something little. But it's like you said, you gotta have space to understand that some people are just ignorant to some aspects of whatever you know about.
Right.
And that's okay. Maybe they're not as interested.
Totally okay. Absolutely.
Everybody takes their own path through life, and to expect everybody to have their car lined up directly with yours as you're traveling through life it's a silly assumption to make.
Truth. You are 1,000% correct. I agree. But it's the complex of being human, I guess.
What do you think is the best and worst part about being a human being?
The best part, free will, free choice. You can do whatever you want to do, whether it's good or bad. It's up to
Glad
you.
you said that.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is completely up to you. Now, what is your moral compass? This goes back to what do you believe in? I wrote a song when I was a musician in my heyday, and the chorus of the song was, and this is also based off of a Tupac record. If anybody watching or listening was a big Tupac fan, he had a record that was like, "What do you believe in?" I put my faith in God. I'm not gonna quote all the lyrics, but I do remember that. What do you believe in? I put my faith in God. So my record was something similar to that. Like if I wrote a book about my life. Yeah, if I died today and I wrote a book about my life, would anybody want to read this story?
Mm.
And like this just popped in my brain. I think that's a good thought process for people to have. So every day when my son gets up, as he is getting ready for school, and I've recently started doing this with my daughter as well. We go through a series of affirmations.
Okay.
So I ask him questions, and matter of fact, I just do it. Questions are, what is integrity? Definition of integrity. Do you know it?
Word for word, no.
To do the right thing
When nobody's watching.
when nobody's watching.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's what he gives to me. Do the right thing when nobody's looking.
Right.
All right, so are you a leader or a follower? I'm a leader. Why? Because I'm a champion.
Mm.
Okay, you're a champion, so how do you measure success? By finishing.
Mm.
So I'm gonna stop right there. I think a lot of people interpretation of what success is where we mess up. So we see the images that the media will portray. Like I will sit here and look at these names. I got to make the amount of money that a Jordan or a Bird. I'm not even gonna say Giannis's last.
Come on, you got it.
No, not gonna do it. Enter the cupo, and I probably
That's pretty
mucked
close.
it up. That was all right. Okay. But I'm now thinking I have to get to or reach a status of one of these gentlemen to where I really don't. If I'm a basketball player, I just need to be able to feed my family, right? So what is wrong with making it to the G League or making it semi-pro and being able to buy a house and a car and I can afford, not having to be in debt?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that life?
Yeah.
But because I see a Jordan or a Bird, I have to get there.
Yeah.
No, you don't. That's their level of success. What's yours? So again, to bring it back to me, I always said, even when I was younger, like I'm going to work in the entertainment field. And of course, growing up in the 90s, you get all the rappers and the D-boy hood dreams, and everybody's going to do it this way. So you start rapping, and now you got to live this certain lifestyle. And okay, even when we went through that, again, it wasn't about me. So I always looked at the Puffies or the Andre Harrells and the Teddy Rileys. I'm looking at the producers, the people behind the scenes. So I said I can make it if I am the one that puts the talent in the studio and makes the record come to the radio.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that guy. So I guess that's what kind of just started me on the path of production, content creation. But again, like my outlook on what success was different. I didn't have to be the one on the stage. I'm just as successful if I contributed to the one that is on the stage.
Yeah.
If I produce the music or I shot the video or the film or I'm the cinematographer or the videographer capturing the footage for the person on the stage, like I'm just as successful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's your interpretation of what success is for a lot of people could be that reality check that they need to snap out of that may have them lost in the matrix like I was when I was in my 20s. And then to get back to the affirmation, how do you finish? So once you understand that you're going to be successful, how do you finish? You finish strong every single day. Like you go into it with the same intensity and the same effort. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, so you pace yourself because you got to see it all the way through. You got to make it to the end. So yeah, those are the affirmations that I go through with my kids. So that's big.
So what is integrity?
What is integrity? Doing the right thing.
Are you a leader or follower?
I am a leader, always.
And then
how do you measure success?
How do you measure success?
Mm-hmm.
Finishing.
By finishing.
And then how you finish.
How you finish, you got to finish strong.
I like that.
This is good stuff.
I
You know
want
what?
to do
And
that.
I came up with that based off of an Instagram post that I saw from Nipsey Hussle talking about the affirmations that he does with his daughter, or that he did with his daughter every day. So
the finishing, like, how are you going to be successful finishing? That's so big.
You gotta, cause and a lot of people, especially in life, man, like, and this goes back to, what are your goals? What are your dreams?
Yeah.
What was most important to you when you were 4 or 5 years old, running around? Or it could have been before then. Like, we are the most free, like, spiritually, physically, mentally, we are the most free when we are 2 to 5 years old, because that is the age to where you're soaking up the most information.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've heard people refer to it as the sponge years. Like, kids are just, what you put in front of a child, they will absolutely.
Oh yeah.
They will do. I remember I was heavily into fitness, getting healthier when my son was that age.
Okay.
Every day it was, I got up, I walked the dog, and then I came and I did my little workout. I would do calisthenics. I had an app on my phone called, I'm not even going to shout them out because they a company and they got billions of dollars. But I would do this app on my phone. I would go through these calisthenic workouts. So, of course, he was little. He wasn't in school.
Right.
My wife was working. So when he'd wake up, run down the hall, I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing sit-ups. So he see me. Now he's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do push-ups. I'm trying to do sit-ups.
Yeah.
So instead of me saying, "Oh, stop, you're going to hurt yourself," no, let me teach you how to do a push-up with the proper form at 3 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So, and now you see this little joke, and he'll hit the set with you. Like, now he'll quit. He'll quit fast. But it thrills him to say, "Hey, you doing push-ups? I can do push-ups too."
Yeah.
And start, like, so it was big for it, and I'm just looking at that. That's the influence of, well, why does he do that now? Because that's what I saw my dad.
Yeah.
So that's it. Just to be that sponge, man. That age range, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see your seeds grow up. To know that what you are doing matters, or is bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's another life lesson. Like, it can't all be about you. I had to get out my own way, and the blessings really started coming. Like, the world shifted, my eyes opened once I got to that epiphany. It's Trail. It's not about you. You are not the most important person in the story. So,
did that really happen when you had kids? Like, is that when it's
for me, it was it was seeing my daughter come into this world. Me and my wife have had several conversations about this. It's a beautiful thing for any father to experience, and it was definitely a life-changing experience for me. I'm glad I only saw it once. I did not. The situation was much different when my youngest son was born. So I didn't see that process, and I really I drew a blank for a second, because, like, the scene came back to my brain. If you've ever seen a live childbirth, it's life changing. If you've seen one, like, have you been in the room and seen one?
So I haven't been in the room, but
you've seen one on TV.
When I was in middle school or like 9th or 10th grade, I was still like, I mean, obviously you hear like how people are born and stuff.
Right. Yep.
But I was like, I was damn near 8 pounds when I was born.
Oh my goodness.
And I
Yes.
was just
God
like,
bless your mother.
yeah, I was just like, how does that work? Like,
Right.
like it didn't make sense to me. So
Right.
I had to figure out so my brain could stop thinking about it. And I regret that shit to this
You jumped in the
day.
rabbit hole and you got on.
Dog.
You got on America Online. Well, no, it might have been.
I don't know
Google
what
at
it
that time
was.
because you're younger than me. So you got online. You researched childbirth and
Oh yeah.
all the stories, the videos, the
Dog.
images that came across your screen.
Dude, I can't tell you how fast I X'd out of it. And like, I went to the bathroom like expecting something to happen. I was just like, oh my.
Now just imagine being in the room
Oh.
and being in control, seeing it all
Yeah.
live happen.
Wow.
Like this is your person laying on that table, and you're.
When that happens, I'm staying in the northern
And it's really,
hemisphere and
yeah.
just concentrating.
And you got your mother-in-law over here, and they're giving encouragement, and it's like I can give it to you in real time. I can do this in 30 seconds. It's like, ooh, push. No, how did it start? I feel like I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Really? She looks. Oh, head, push, hair, push, Then it was head, push, baby. There's Italian. And I don't, yeah, man. And then after that, there's the after.
Yeah,
that's
that's what got
part.
me.
That's the part that
That's what got me.
That's the part that gets you.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of other stuff in there.
I don't ever have to experience this ever again. I'm glad I'm putting this on camera. We are not having any more kids. If we're having kids, we are going the adoption route. But we can practice. We're not making no more.
Oh man.
We're going by, baby. That probably. Don't take my words, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Buy a baby.
Yeah.
Before we make one in that, because I don't. And my wife she's gonna turn beet red in the face when this drops, because I'm talking about it right now. But I don't ever have to experience that again, and I'm glad that I will never experience that again in my life. Not even with my grandkids. Like that's gonna be on.
Oh no, definitely not. No way.
I'll see them when they get here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them when they get here.
Just see the aftermath.
Yeah, I'll see them when they get here.
Yeah.
Then I can spoil them like true grandparent style.
There you go.
Sugar your kids up and then send them back to you. Facts.
Man. Yeah. Thanks for putting that image back out there. I appreciate that.
I mean, you wanted to finish the race, so we talking about it, sir.
Man, I might would have took a pit stop on that one. But it's still vivid. Like it's still really vivid.
It happened 14 years ago for me, sir. So yeah.
And you saw
just like it was yesterday.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. So
you got all the other sensors.
In your favorite school, I was there in a hospital room in Chapel Hill. Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Hey, nice.
Both children born in UNC.
It's a good place.
Heels.
That's fine. Go Heels.
Go Heels.
Yeah. Man, we should end on that.
Why not?
Let's do it.
No, we can't. This is what we have to do.
Okay.
This is what we have to do because I had a. We can end on that.
No, what you got?
No, we can end on that.
What you got?
I just wanted to talk about accolades, like finishing the race, and we still in the race, but point that I want to make as we close. I'll do it like this. I got to give my sermonette because I do media production for a church, so I got to give a 2-minute sermonette. Here's my sermonette. Never burn bridges, because you don't know when in life you will have to travel back across that bridge. Mm-hmm. So here's the story. Earlier in the pod, I mentioned Yolanda Clayton and the production that I did for Yolanda. Now, back in 2014, when we did the Sisters production, Yolanda took a chance on me because I was 6 months into film school at Full Sail. So just to be all the way transparent, like I didn't have knowledge of a lot of the stuff that it took to produce a TV show. Yet, she knew that. She still took a chance on me. And we ended up producing about 5 episodes of a television show that premiered locally in North Carolina on the CW22. And then things happen, time goes on. We're here now in 2023. She reaches out to me telling me she has a production that she is working on. She is no longer in the North Carolina area, but she wanted just for me to advise on like what should she be looking for in a production company.
Okay.
So again, now I could have been like, "You not hiring me? Why am I gonna give you the sauce?"
Yeah.
Okay, and I felt like that was the wrong thing to do. So let me just humble myself and give you any information that I could possibly give you without, giving you the trade secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to me, that's me not burning this bridge. We worked together in the past, whatever. You coming back to me now, okay. So then little time goes on. We stay in contact. They go into production on her show. Again, we stay in contact, and she reaches out to me January 2024. For whatever happens, she schedules a meeting. Me and one of my associates go out to set. We meet with her and a couple crew members, and about 2 weeks later, I was asked to submit proposal to take over that production. So now, GHME Films has picked up a new production. Not gonna, contractually I can't give it
Okay.
the show, but GHME Films has picked up this production by writer creator Yolanda Clayton. That is scheduled to. Matter of fact, if you go on her page, you could probably find the name of it.
Do you know where her page is?
Yes, it's I know she's Yolanda Clayton. Or no, hold on.
Yeah. Shout her out.
This is the age of information, so we got a shout out.
This is your business partner
This
here.
is definitely my business partner, absolutely. So I can give y'all the proper name,
right,
of what I know her production company or her writer company is 7 Heartbeats Production.
Okay.
And her Instagram is Letitia_love20. Author, nurse, writer, producer, Yolanda Clayton is her last name. I don't know if she wants y'all to know that, but the Instagram profile says Yolanda. But again, this is my business partner. Shout out to Yolanda. Definitely appreciate the opportunity. And again, I feel like by me humbling myself is what got me into the position to where, although I was fresh into my career as a cinematographer, when we did the Sisters production, she saw enough in that production, in my professionalism, to where 7 years later she comes back.
Yeah.
And from a lot of clients that I work with, one thing that I've always heard has been, you are the most professional person we've seen. Like your professionalism. So I hang my head on that. So like not burning bridges, being good to people, always giving the best service that I could possibly give because I enjoy doing it. Like it's meant all the difference for me in my business. So that was probably longer than 2 minutes. And if I did make a point, again, overall, my point was don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you need to walk your happy behind back across that bridge. Make sure there is a bridge there, because you don't know. You could definitely cross through the valley, but how long would it take you to actually walk down into the valley and back up the mountain if you could have simply walked across the bridge?
Yeah.
That's how you get there.
That's how you finish the race.
Boom. I'm not going to drop this microphone because it costs.
Yeah, don't do that,
No,
please.
no. Drop the road cat.
Well, thank you so much for doing it, man. I
Absolutely, yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
I
Love you,
appreciate it
brother.
every time.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Oh, yeah. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time.